Okay, so sorry about that. I got cut off. I'm not sure where I left off, so I'm just going to start from the top of the slide. So remember, the seminal vesicles, they produce about 60% of what is semen, okay, like a yellow, thick fluid, okay? Then the prostate gland adds a milky fluid to it. This helps activate sperm. So sperm are more motile. That means they move faster. Okay, this enters the urethra through a few different like little ducts in the prostate gland. And the prostate gland, just to give you an idea of where it's located in the body, it's just in front of the rectum. So think your butthole and just move a little bit forward, like a little bit to the front. It's like directly in front of your butthole, basically. um, the bulbourethral glands are a pea-sized gland that's just below the prostate. This produces a very thick, clear mucus. This basically, the whole point of this is to cleanse the urethra of anything acidic. So remember how I said that urine is acidic? It can like destroy sperm. The whole point of this like bulbourethral gland is to produce something that will basically destroy that acidic urine. It'll clean your urethra so that when sperm does come through, the acid won't destroy the sperm. This is what's called pre-ejaculate. So when men get aroused and they start leaking at the top, it's not sperm, it's actually pre-ejaculate. It's just cleaning out the penis before actual ejaculation. It's basically a lubricant during sexual intercourse. So it helps kind of, make it easy to slide in and out and all that kind of stuff, okay? It's secreted into the penile urethra, so the urethra that goes through the penis, and it goes out to the very tip. It can, by the way, contain a mixture of sperm, so it's important that, like if you're having sex and, you're getting a little stuff coming out the front, that pre-ejaculate, make sure that you are still using a condom or some kind of protection because that pre-ejaculate can contain sperm. It won't contain a lot of sperm, that's not the point, but sometimes some sperm can get mixed in there. So the semen is a mixture of sperm and all of those different secretions from the different accessory glands. The advantages of these secretions is so that fructose that I gave, the sugar, provides energy for the sperm cells, helps keep them alive and be excited and able to like survive until they can meet with an egg cell and fertilize the egg and make a baby. The alkalinity. So when I remember I was talking about acidic urine, the opposite of acid is alkaline. It's basically like something basic. So if acid meaning like lemon juice and that sour taste, alkaline is like milk or like a cream sort of thing or bleach. I mean, bleach is like a really alkaline thing. It's basically something that's kind of soft. It's muted. It's not acidic. It helps eliminate the acid or the spicy feelings in your mouth. Okay. So the alkalinity of semen actually helps neutralize the acidic environment of the vagina. So that semen basically allows, like sperm to survive in the vagina. Um, Semen actually inhibits bacterial multiplication, so it protects you from like bacteria and that kind of stuff. And the elements of semen help enhance sperm motility, help sperm move, so they're better basically, and they do their job better, which is to fertilize an egg. So men having about 50 to 130 million sperm per each milliliter of semen is like the sweet spot. That's really good. The higher the number of sperm in each milliliter, the better like that dude can get a girl pregnant, basically. Less than 20 million sperm per milliliter, you're basically probably not going to be able to fertilize an egg. Like you don't have enough sperm to make it happen. It's going to be really difficult to basically become a biological father. So external genitalia, so remember these are things on the outside. The scrotum, that's where the testes are. It's basically a divided sac of skin and fat tissue on the outside of the abdomen. It encloses the testes. So it's like, it looks like a single pouch, but it actually has two of them. It maintains the testes at 3 degrees Celsius. So the idea is it's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The whole point is that it's lower than the normal body temperature. Sperm actually don't survive very long in the 98.6 body temperature that we run at. Okay, so sperm actually need a slightly lower body temperature, and that's the that's why the scrotum is outside the body instead of inside. The penis is the male excitatory organ. It surrounds the urethra and it delivers sperm into the female reproductive tract. The regions of the penis include the shaft, the glans penis, which is the enlarged tip, the prepuce, which is that foreskin. So this is a folded cuff of skin around the very end of the penis. This is what gets removed during circumcision, okay, if you're circumcised. So the process of this excitability to orgasm is you first get the erection, then you have the emission, which is the little pre-cum thing, then you got the ejaculation, which is the actual semen coming out, and then the orgasm, okay? And those happen pretty quickly in order. So spermatogenesis is this production of sperm cells. It's produced from spermatogonia cells, which are these really basic sperm cells. They're not mature sperm cells. They're really early sperm cells. So men begin producing sperm at puberty, and this continues throughout their life. It occurs in the seminiferous tubules. That's where they're produced. And meiosis reduces the chromosome number by half. So it goes from 46 to 23, which is how many chromosomes you pass on to your children. The process from birth to puberty. So this is before you start, like, when you're a kid, before you start like growing taller and, getting a deeper voice and all that stuff. This is before you start like producing sperm. Those spermatogonia or stem cells undergo mitosis. They basically make a lot of stem cells before puberty. Okay. Then during puberty and beyond, a certain hormone called follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, it modifies the division. Okay. It modifies this stem cell division to start producing another 2 extra daughter cells, okay? Producing those 2 daughter cells. Daughter cell A goes into the seminiferous tubule and it stays there. It maintains the stem cell population. So it keeps producing more stem cells. And then cell B becomes a primary spermatocyte and it starts traveling to the tubulum. And basically the whole point is you get division, you got 1 stem cell becomes 2 stem cells. One stays to do its work and to make more stem cells, and the other one starts separating into the 4 sperm. Okay. So the anatomy of mature sperm cells. So we've got the head. That's where you have the 23 chromosomes. It's covered in an acrosome, which is basically just like a protective layer to protect the sperm from degrading and protect the DNA from going anywhere until it meets the egg. You have the body, which is containing the mitochondria. It basically provides the energy for the sperm cell, so it doesn't die before it gets to the female's body. And then the tail, which basically helps move the sperm through the female body until it gets to the egg. So the hypothalamic and the pituitary hormones. So both males and females excrete gonadotropin releasing hormone. It just does different things in males versus females. So the hypothalamus releases this hormone, GnRH, okay? That travels to the anterior pituitary gland. Both of these are located in your brain, okay? And they're actually really close to each other. In the anterior pituitary gland, in response to GnRH, it releases 2 hormones, okay? Luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. We call these things gonadotropins because gonadotropin is basically like a sex hormone. That's basically what it means, okay? Luteinizing hormone promotes the secretion of testosterone, okay? So it's saying cells make testosterone. Follicle stimulating hormone says seminiferous tubules respond to testosterone and make sperm, okay? So LH, luteinizing hormone, says makes testosterone. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, says make sperm. Okay? That's basically what it is. Use testosterone, make sperm. So androgen production. Androgen is usually like another name for testosterone or a male sex hormone. Testosterone is the most important hormone of the testes. Without it, nothing would work. Okay? It's produced continuously from puberty on within males. It targets the secondary sex organs. So that's where you get the deepening of the voice, increased hair growth, particularly in the like armpits and pubic area, deepening of the voice. Sorry, I said that already. Sorry, hella loud kids. Sorry, they're right outside my window, like screaming. Oh my god. Okay, so enlargement of the skeletal muscles. So that's like, the like biceps and triceps and, pecs and all of the muscles that are involved in the body, basically. And the thickening of the bones. So men tend to have thicker bones than women, a little bit tougher bones. So that's what happens. And then the functions of testosterone. So testosterone stimulates reproductive organ development. So the testes, the penis, all of those things. And it underlies the sex drive. So if men don't have testosterone, then they're not interested in sex. Kind of the idea is that, without testosterone, there's not a lot of urge to have sex. That's why boys before puberty don't really want to have sex. And then once they hit puberty, it's like, oh, they're interested because testosterone sort of activates that sex drive. Sexual infantilism is when a person's body doesn't make testosterone, okay? And if they don't, then the secondary sexual characteristics don't develop. So basically, they look prepubescent until their body starts making testosterone or they get artificial testosterone, okay? Regulation of the male hormones. So it's what we call a negative feedback system. Basically, the presence of something causes it to slow down. It's like, oh, there's plenty of it, there's enough, I can stop making more. And then when there's not enough, it triggers it to start making more. Okay? So the more blood testosterone, your hypothalamus says, nope, we're good. We don't need to have more because there's plenty in the blood. So it stops stimulating the GnRH as much. It stops like making more of the LH. It just says, okay, we're going to reduce the testosterone release. And then when that level of testosterone decreases and the hypothalamus is like, oh, we need testosterone, then it'll start releasing like GnRH to stimulate the anterior pituitary to release more LH and make more testosterone. Okay, it's that idea. So that was dudes. Let's start talking about women. Okay, so female reproductive system. So the female reproductive system is slightly less complicated. There are a lot less parts, but they all act in like really interesting ways. So you have like a few ligaments and stuff that hold up the ovaries, which are connected to the fallopian tubes that are then connected to the uterus. The uterus is then connected to the cervix and the vagina, which then goes out to a spot in between the rectum and the anus and the bladder. Okay, and like where the urinary bladder and the urethra are connected. All right. So the female reproductive system is meant to, number one, produce female gametes, and then to nurture and protect a developing fetus. Okay, that's the whole point, to make a new baby. The ovaries are the primary reproductive organs. Okay, they make what we call ova. Ova means egg. Okay, that's the egg that we produce that then becomes a baby. The endocrine product, or the hormones that are produced, are estrogens and progesterone. The duct system consists of the fallopian tubes, or the uterine tubes, the uterus, and the vagina. And then the external genitalia, that's a lot of complicated stuff, but it's basically the labia, which contains the majora and the minora, the mons pubis, the clitoris, and the glands. So it's everything on the outside. So the ovaries are composed of ovarian follicles. Basically, they're little sacs. Okay, they look like this. They're a big giant sac, and each follicle contains an egg. Okay, an oocyte. They're surrounded by little follicle cells. So if you look here, see that little dot, that little circle with a little circle inside of it? That's an egg. Okay, and the little dot is the egg, and then the outside circle is the primary follicle. Okay, and basically they're surrounded by these little like follicle cells that enlarge and then develop like a fluid-filled antrum. So basically, it fills with fluid that eventually, when it bursts, the egg is released into the fallopian tubes, and everything else is just left behind. All right, and we're going to talk about the cycle here in just a second. So the primary follicle contains an immature oocyte. It's a very early stage egg. The Graafian, or the vesicular follicle. So this is a growing follicle. It's the second step. This is with the maturing oocyte. So basically, initially, the egg is immature, and then it starts developing and growing more complex and getting mature. Okay, and it keeps maturing until ovulation. And ovulation is when the egg is released from the ovary and goes into the fallopian tubes. Okay, it's mature, it's ready to go. This occurs about every 28 days. The ruptured follicle then becomes a corpus luteum. Now, during pregnancy, that's